Good morning, students. In the last lecture of the operating system, we started our fifth unit, that is memory management. In the last lecture, we studied about the basic introduction for the memory management. In the last lecture, we learned the concept of partitioning. The partitioning means the process of dividing the memory into several separate units. That individual unit we called as an partitions. Then we are going to discuss the different types of partitioning. There are two types of partitioning. That means partitioning process is classified into two types. That is static partitioning and dynamic partitioning. The static partitioning is also known as fixed partitioning, and the dynamic partitioning is called as variable partitioning. After that, we will start our next point, that is free space management technique. Free space management. When memory allocation takes place dynamically, then it is responsibility of an operating system to manage properly. This is called as free space management. We know that there are two types of memory allocation is done into the operating system. First one is the static memory allocation and second one is the dynamic memory allocation. So, whenever the memory allocation mechanism takes place dynamically, at that time the operating system's responsibility has to manage that allocation properly, and that management scheme is known as free space management. In free space management technique, mainly two methods are there. In a free space management technique, the technique is classified into two types. First one is the bitmap and second one is the linked list. By using these two techniques, we are managing a free space into a computer's memory. Let's see first technique, bitmap free space management. What the bitmap technique does? In a bitmap type of technique, the memory is divided into number of allocation units. In the bitmap free space management technique, the total operating system's memory is divided into number of units, number of several parts. They are also divided into words or maybe in a large size unit. That memory is divided into a unit of words or maybe a larger size unit. And each unit is then further divided into bits, and that each individual unit is afterward divided into a bit. That means each unit stores a 1 bit of data. That bits are zeros and ones. 0 indicates that unit is free, and if it is occupied, then it indicates 1. In a bitmap or a bit mapping, there are two bits are represented by two units. First one is the 0 unit and second one is the 1. If the bit contains 0 value, then that 0 indicates that that particular memory unit is free. And if that bit unit contains 1, then that indicates that it is occupied by something. If the unit is small, then the bitmap becomes large, and the size of unit is very important issue in a bitmap technique. It is very important. The size of unit is a very important issue in the bitmap technique. This is about the bitmap free space management. The advantage of the bitmap technique is that it provides a very simple way to keep the track of memory words in a fixed amount of memory, because the size of the bitmap depends on only the size of memory and the size of allocation unit. This is the main advantage of the bitmap technique. It provides a very simple way to keep the track of the memory. It keeps the track of the memory. Here in a bitmap technique, we are easily identified the particular memory location is either free or not, because here in a bitmap technique there are only 2 bits represent that particular memory is free or not. If particular memory contain a 0 bit, that means that particular memory unit is free, or if that particular memory unit contain 1 bit, then it tells that that particular unit is occupied by something. But the main drawback of this system is that the bitmap is that the searching in a bitmap for a run on a given length is very slow operation. Whenever we are going to be search by using a bitmap technique, then it is very slower process, because here we are checking bit by bit in a memory location. So this process is very time consuming. This is a bitmap free space management technique. Next technique for the free space management, that is linked list. You all know about the linked list data structure, where each node is connected to the second node by using a link. It is another way in which it is useful to keep track of the memory. This is another way to keep the track of the memory. That means it keeps the track of which memory unit is free or which unit is not free. Linked list is a collection of allocated memory or whole between 2 processes. Linked list, we know that the linked list data structure connects, or linked list data structure contains the number of nodes interconnected via a link. Same way, in a memory there is one linked list, that is a collection of allocated memory or a whole between 2 processes. That means, see this figure, it is an allocated memory because here this memory unit is occupied by the process A, and here is an whole. The dashed block is represented as whole. That means this particular memory is free. Then here is an occupied memory location. This memory unit is occupied by the process B. Same way, this memory unit is occupied by the process C. This is an whole C. In the above figure shows that free space management technique sequence with linked list, in that T indicates the process and H indicates the whole. Here in this figure, the P indicates the process and H represents the whole. All the entries present in a list specifies a whole or a process and an address of its starts and the length and a pointer to the next entry. Here is one linked list. See this linked list. See this figure. In this figure, here is one node. In this node, first entry is for the whole or the process. If that particular memory unit is occupied by some process, then that is represented by a P, that means process, or if it is represented by H, then that particular memory unit is whole, that means that memory unit is free. Then second one is the starting address of that particular process or the whole. Then third part consists of the length of that particular memory unit and the last part contains the pointer to the next node in the list. See this figure, it is for the process A. Here A memory location is a memory location contains a process, so it is represented by P. Its starting address is 0, so it is represented by 0. Its maximum length is 3 byte, so it is represented by 3. And next one is the pointer to the next memory node. Next memory node is our whole, because this is free, so it is represented by H. That's total length, starting address at 7. Next, its total length is 2, so it is represented by 2. And last node contains the pointer to the next node. Our next memory unit is B. B unit contains a next unit is memory unit contains a B process. This is an process, so it is represented by the process, its starting address, its length, and the last part consists of address to the next node. Same way, this linked list is represented here. If any process is terminating into the memory, then the terminating memory has two neighbors only. In exceptional cases, like when it is at the top of the memory and at the bottom of the memory. If some process is terminating into the memory, if the process execution completed, then that memory is free. In that case, whenever any process terminates, then that process having a two neighbors, except that if that process is at top of the linked list or if that particular process is at bottom of the linked list. So consider the example. Here is an one memory unit, here is an process A, here is an process X, and here is an B. Here before X terminates, this is the condition, but after the X process terminates, then here is an hole created between a two memory unit. Suppose in this condition, here is an A process, here is an X process, and here is an one hole. Then whenever X terminates, execution of X completed, then after that two memory locations becomes whole continuously. Whenever an A process terminates, then here is an memory hole, here is an X. Whenever X process terminates, then this becomes a whole by combining two free memory units. Then consider this situation. Here is an X process which is going to be terminated. That two neighbors having a whole, that means X process having two neighboring memory unit which having a memory hole. Then whenever X terminates, then that whole memory becomes a whole continuously, or that whole memory becomes a free. This is the linked list free space management technique. For implementing the free space management technique or linked list technique, these algorithms are used: first fit, next fit, best fit, worst fit, or quick fit. By using these algorithms, we are going to be implement the linked list free space management technique. In today's lecture, we were seeing that the free space management technique. In that, the free space management technique implemented by using two methods. First one is the bitmap technique and second one is the linked list. In a bitmap technique, each unit is represented by either 1 bit or 0 bit. If that bit is an 0, that 0 indicates that that particular memory unit is free, and if that particular memory unit is occupied by someone process, then that unit is represented by 1. But it is very time consuming process. Second method is an linked list, in which number of nodes are interconnected to each other by using a link. And here in this technique, that particular memory unit is represented by either P or H. P means process and H means hold. If that particular memory unit is occupied by some process, then it is represented by P. And if that particular memory location is or memory unit is totally free, then that time it is represented by H. And for implementing the linked list free space management technique, we are using first fit, next fit, best fit or worst fit or the quick fit algorithm. Okay, thank you.